Hello YouTube, welcome to this video. Part 6 of my life story. All the previous parts are in the description, along with the German language version of this video. I'm reading from a script, and as you can see, it's in German. Okay, this part is about the search and the reunion with my birth mum. And I hope you find it uplifting. If you've got any questions about being adopted yourselves or adoption issues, my email address is in the description also, and I'll be pleased to help. It's also about the most emotional 4 months of my life, from January through to April 2000. Chapter 14. The Search. The previous October or November, I ordered my birth records, and in January I went to see a social worker and collected them. I did not know what I'd find, whether my mum would accept me, reject me, or she might even be dead. You don't know. 32 years had passed, or even 34, since I was born, till when I was looking for her, and these are the days before Facebook. In order to trace someone and or their relatives, you went to the Family Record Centre and you went through volumes of books. Every record of marriage is there, of deaths and births. And by going through these books, and the books are split into 4 quarters of the year and also alphabetically, you can find out loads of information by ordering certificates. I was really lucky. My birth family had many events in their lives. Many births and marriages. Not many deaths, luckily. They also had fairly uncommon surnames. If you was looking for a Smith, a Jones, or a James, it'd be a fucking nightmare, because there's millions of them in the UK. And it'd be quite hard. I was also lucky the Family Record Centre was only a 5-minute walk from where I worked. And my original name I always knew since I was about 5 years old. It was Derek Michael Padney. I was born in 1966, and I also found out, according to my birth records, my birth mother was called Chris, and she was born on Christmas Day. My biological father was called Tom, and he was 70. I was adopted at 1 month old by Sherry and Peter. I then went searching, and in 3 weeks I found that in 1971 John became Chris's first husband. They had 2 children. Darryl was born in 1973 and Claire in 1976. On Claire's birth certificate there was John's parents' address, and I phoned the local council up and asked them did they still live there, and they said yes. I did not contact them. I guess they were elderly, but I was told after I eventually made contact with my mum that they would pass the details on. On the 28th of February, I found something else out. Claire, my sister, had married Shane in 1996. They didn't have any children, and according to the local council, she was no longer there. He was. And I thought, within 8 weeks, I had 2 contacts. This isn't meant to be happening to me. I hadn't contacted him, but I saved him in case I needed to in April. On the 17th of March, I found out a hell of a lot. It was a Thursday, I remember it to this day. And I found that my biological mum married a guy called Adrian in 1982. They had 2 children. Joe was born in 1983 and James was born on the 25th of December 1985. Yep, my brother was born on Christmas Day and so was my mum. She had a very unusual surname, and so did he, and there was less than 50 of that surname in the UK. So I then went through the deaths records. Not a nice experience. I was scared I'd find her in deaths. Luckily she wasn't there, but unfortunately her husband was. He died in 1992 and my brothers and sisters were 8, 11, 16 and 19 years old. I asked for advice. Should I order his death certificate or my brother's birth certificate? My brother was born, as I said, in 1985. He died in 92. They suggested ordering the birth certificate as a death certificate doesn't always have addresses on. So normally a certificate costs £7.50 and takes 5 working days to arrive. If you pay £28, you can ask for it in 24 hours. On the 19th of March, I went back there. On the 18th of March, and got my brother's birth certificate. I phoned up Directory Inquiries and said, does Mrs. X, can I have Mrs. X's telephone number please? Hoping she hadn't moved. The automatic voice said at the other end, their telephone number is blank blank blank, or XYZ. I now knew she lived in Maidstone, which is around about 50 miles from my apartment. But the next day, I was going to Prague on holiday. I had to wait a whole week before the following events took place. I had an amazing holiday, but still worried about the reaction of my birth mum to the news I've written to her. Chapter 15, the reunion. On the 27th of March, my friend Becky wrote to Chris. It's recommended by most adoption agencies in Great Britain that the adopted person doesn't write to their birth mum direct. You use a friend or an adoption agency to do it for you, and there's less pressure on the birth mother. The letter said the following: I'm writing on behalf of my friend called Rob Jones. He believes he is related to you, and could you please contact me for more information? Yours sincerely, Becky. If anyone else opened that letter, they would not know what it was. It could be just a long-lost relative, certainly not her birth son. The birth mother normally knows as soon as they receive that letter what it's about. In 2000, I was 34. My birth mother, Chris, was 50, and my brothers and sisters were 16, 19, 24 and 27. On the 28th of March, Chris called Becky and asked for my telephone number. She obviously gave it, and me and my birth mum, Chris, spent an emotional hour on the phone. We were both very happy, beyond words. The next thing that happened was Chris told my brothers and sisters about me. They were shocked that their mother could have given away a child at 16, as she was very maternal. She explained society was very different back then, and she would have been a single mother. We also sent each other photos, and I sent her a covering letter which briefly explained my life story. I didn't put down all the bad bits about my childhood as such. I played up the happiness, I have to admit, and I left out all my sexuality and relationships. On the 10th of April, we met for the first time. It was a sunny day. We met at Uther Whip's Cross in Walthamstow, about a mile from where I live, and we had an incredible afternoon. We gave each other a hug, we shared the photos, and I told her I was gay. She said she'd already guessed that, along with my sisters, because I hadn't mentioned any relationships in the letter. They were all okay about it and accepted me for who I am. On the 21st of April, I met my brothers and sisters for the first time and had an incredible afternoon and evening as well. The following weekend, I met my nan for the first time and had a good day with her as well. We are reunited as a family. I am very lucky. I will tell you more about the reunion with my brothers and sisters and my birth mum in the next part. It was very emotional, this whole process, and I couldn't go through this again. So I didn't search for Tom. He has a very common surname as well. I was happy with finding her, and I still don't know who my birth father is. Apart from me, he's called Tom. Chapter 16, The Afterword. Lucy began her search for her parents in August 1999, and she found them in the following August. The reunion with her birth mother and birth father wasn't as successful as mine, and her mother didn't have any more children after Lucy, so didn't know how to react, and her father had health issues. She was really disappointed. She was happy for me, obviously, but really depressed herself. Lucy and I saw each other less often for the next 15 years, and for personal reasons, in respect to privacy, I will not say any more about Lucy's reunion. The next part, as I said, I'll tell you about the next 9 years of my life, and I hope you found this video interesting and give it a massive thumbs up. Any adoption issues, please email me on the address below and I'll answer you. And something went right in RJ's life. A really happy experience beyond words. My reunion with my birth family probably ranks in the top 5% in grape that one could possibly have. It, and I'll tell you more in the next part, was unbelievable. Stay lit, guys, and thanks for watching. Hello, I forgot to say what follows is some photos from my life. Enjoy.